Trevor Malloy wasn't the kind of man who made good decisions. He wasn't even the kind of man who made medium decisions. His entire life was defined by three constants. His appliances hated him. His bank account contained the same amount of money as a morally bankrupt politician's honesty. 0. He had the sort of creative optimism that turned every catastrophe into a fun learning moment, usually shouted while running away from flames. On the morning of the incident, Trevor was trying to fix his toaster. It had only two settings: incinerate and launch flaming bread into the neighbor's yard. Trevor, armed with a screwdriver, 12 YouTube tutorials, and the confidence of someone who absolutely should not be confident, popped it open. Inside the toaster, reality bent. Not metaphorically, literally. The metal coils glowed with a light that had no business being inside a household appliance. Little sparks formed spiraling rings. A swirling black speck hovered between the heating coils, drinking in crumbs, heat, light, anything within reach. Trevor blinked. "Is that a black hole?" he asked the toaster, because no one else was around. The black speck pulsed. "Oh," Trevor said cheerfully, "so we're doing this today." He grabbed the closest container, a mason jar that still smelled faintly of last week's pickles, opened the lid, and scooped the tiny cosmic anomaly inside. The moment the jar sealed, the swirling stopped. A soft pop echoed, as though the universe had decided, fine, let the idiot have it. Trevor lifted the jar and stared at the tiny, swirly darkness hovering inside, like a cat-sized void looking for a therapist. "Well," he said, "this is definitely going on eBay." Trevor had 3 rules in life. Rule 1, if you don't know what something is, shake it. Rule 2, if shaking it doesn't help, sell it. Rule 3, if selling it doesn't work, panic. He skipped to step 2. His eBay listing read, "Slightly used space vortex. No returns, seriously. Condition, gently cosmic. Starting bid, $49.99 shipping. Buyer pays. Not responsible for loss of limbs, time, or neighboring star systems." He uploaded a picture of the jar sitting on his kitchen counter. The swirling micro-black hole photobombed its own photo by bending the reflection into a smiley face. Reddit exploded within 12 minutes. Half the internet debated whether it was a hoax. The other half tried to explain relativity using memes that made Einstein roll in his grave so fast he could generate electricity. Trevor watched with fascination as the bids ticked upward. But then something odd happened. The bids began coming in with usernames that eBay definitely did not recognize. Star Warden _77. ONI _collective _S453. Imperial Treasury _Einarm. Glumsworn High Command. Trevor frowned. Must be sci-fi fans. They were most certainly not. Across the Milky Way, the Galactic Council's early warning AI, Sentinel Prime not again, detected an impossible energy signature coming from Earth. A micro-singularity. Contained. Selling for $49.99 Earth credits. Every government panicked. Every admiral screamed. Multiple empires declared Universal Emergency Protocol's existence preservation mode, and in one case, everybody hide behind the furniture. Earth, historically, was known among the stars as that one death world full of loud primates who treat physics suggestions as physics dares. So when those primates casually listed a bottled black hole for sale on a public auction website, the galaxy correctly assumed humans had just invented the end of the universe and were selling it for fun. Within hours, alien fleets rerouted toward Earth. Within hours, Trevor's listing hit 1 million credits. Meanwhile, at Trevor's house, things had taken a strange turn. A soft hum came from the mason jar. The black hole swirled gently, pulsing a warm golden blue, as if pleased with its new environment. "Hey, buddy," Trevor said, patting the jar like it was a hamster cage. "You hungry?" The swirling intensified. Trevor shrugged and slid a cracker through the lid when he opened it for a moment. The cracker vanished with a soft pop. He grinned. "Good boy." The cosmic anomaly purred. The universe took an anxious note. At precisely 2:08 p.m., Trevor's living room lit up with a blinding flash. The ground shook as something enormous descended outside. Trevor groaned. Ugh, Amazon better not have upgraded to dramatic entrances. He opened the door. A 10-story tall alien dreadnought hovered above his lawn, its landing thrusters flattening his grass into a cropped circle resembling a panicking octopus. A small blue alien, roughly the size of a raccoon but wearing a gold-trimmed admiral's coat, approached. Human, the creature squeaked, voice amplified by a floating megaphone. We are here to purchase the singularity you call slightly used space vortex. Trevor blinked. You mean the jar? The alien trembled. Yes, the jar. Behind the admiral, an entire squad of alien soldiers shivered at the mention of the jar. Trevor picked it up from the counter, shook it lightly out of habit, and called, Is this what you want? All 50 alien soldiers dove behind their ship, screaming. The admiral shrieked and fainted. Trevor frowned at the jar. What? I wasn't shaking it hard. The black hole inside wagged its tail-shaped gravitational swirl. 3 more fleets arrived in rapid succession. A reptilian warlord named General SSKRR demanded to buy it for peaceful weaponization. A crystalline diplomat attempted to trade him one small moon, gently used, no craters. A telepathic jelly being offered emotional support, which Trevor politely declined. By sunset, 11 alien delegations were camped on Trevor's lawn. News helicopters circled overhead. Some humans in cosplay assumed it was Comic-Con and began taking selfies with soldiers from the Orion Empire. Trevor sat on his porch with a mason jar in his lap, watching the chaos. Buddy, he whispered to the black hole, did you start all this? The swirling anomaly pulsed once, bright, proud, affectionate. Somewhere in deep space, a star winked out. Trevor gave the jar a pat. Okay. No more showing off. The swirling calmed, glowing softly like a content cosmic cat. At 3:22 a.m., Trevor was jolted awake by a ping from eBay. New highest bid. 3 quadrillion credits bidder. Terran Galactic Peacekeeping Authority. Trevor rubbed his eyes. Terran? I'm Terran. He scrolled. The message read, Human. This is Earth's future interstellar government. Long story. We would like to buy the black hole before some idiot opens it. We believe you are the idiot. Please respond. Trevor looked at the jar. The jar vibrated happily. Trevor sighed. This is going to be a long week. Behind him, something thudded against the window. He turned. One of the rival alien teams had tried to steal the jar during the night, only to be sucked halfway into the glass, compressed into a pancake, spat back out, and left whimpering on the driveway. Trevor exhaled. Okay, enough. Tomorrow, we negotiate. The jar hummed supportively. Outside, 12 alien fleets watched the little house with night vision scopes and terror in their eyes. And on eBay, the listing hit its final bid. Trevor woke up to the sound of 12 different national anthems, none of which were from Earth. His phone buzzed with eBay notifications like a nest of caffeinated hornets. Your listing has received a new bid. Your listing has received a new, is this dishwasher safe? Question. Your listing has been flagged for possible violation of our no cosmic weapons in mason jars policy. He shuffled to the window. His lawn looked like an interstellar garage sale. Tents, hover pavilions, a kiosk selling neon churros to terrified Marines. Someone had put up a banner that read, Welcome, bidders. Please do not scream near the jar. The mason jar purred on his nightstand like a cat who'd swallowed a star and found it comforting. Morning, buddy, Trevor said. Today we're going to be reasonable. He walked outside in yesterday's sweatpants and raised a hand. Okay, negotiations begin in. A sonic boom cut him off. A sleek silver wedge blinked into existence, hovering above his mailbox. It fired a tiny torpedo that unfolded into a floating podium. A hologram in a blazer appeared, its smile polished enough to reflect satellites. Hello, I'm Vicky, your eBay Authenticity Guarantee Liaison. When items exceed intergalactic GDP, we require an in-person examination. Trevor blinked. Of the jar, of the vibes, Vicky said solemnly, then lowered her voice. Also the jar. 3 Imperial admirals for spiritual envoys and a gelatinous legal team drifted forward. The reptilian general from yesterday, General SSKRR, adjusted his ceremonial pauldrons and hissed, "We bid first for peaceful weaponization." The crystalline diplomat chimed, "Orion Treasury revises our offer. 1 moon, 2 rings, and the removal of parking tickets for your species for the next 1,000 years." A robed shadow from Gloomsworn High Command intoned, "We will abolish Mondays." Every human in earshot turned instinctively. A cameraman whispered, "They can do that?" The shadow nodded. "We did it on Morvex 3. They now have 2 Thursdays." Trevor tried to look wise. Truth was, he wanted something simple. He set the jar on a milk crate, cleared his throat, and clicked a remote. A bedsheet on the fence lit up. Slideshow. "Please don't annihilate my house." Slide 1. Ground rules. No planet cracking, reality shredding, or passive-aggressive murmuring in subspace. No stealing the jar. The jar bites. All bids go through eBay because, and I cannot stress this enough, I cannot make change for a ring world. Slide 2. What I want. Pay off debts. Fix toaster. Ensure Earth doesn't get vaporized because my listing title had good SEO. Vicky nodded approvingly. Clear deliverables. From the crowd, a kid in a bicycle helmet raised a hand. "Mr. Malloy, I'm live streaming this for Gin Talk. Please say your channel name." Trevor squinted. "Channel name." The kid panned to the jar. "Guys, we're the human who bottled a black hole auction. Smash like before space-time smashes us." The jar hummed smugly and bent the sunlight into a tiny halo. Bids flew. 3 quadrillion credits. Boomed the Galactic Peacekeeping Authority through a time-delayed speaker that arrived before its own echo. Plus amnesty for you and your kitchen appliances. 4 quadrillion, crackled the Orion Treasury. Plus an economy redo for your planet. New oceans, fixed climate, fewer wasps. General SSKRR raised a talon. 5 quadrillion and the title of Lord of the reasonably manageable wormholes. The gelatinous lawyers undulated forward as a choir. "We present a contract in which you own your own past mistakes retroactively. Includes a full refund on your 8th grade haircut." Trevor flinched. Tempting. And then things got bigger. A new arrival phased in. A throne carved from starlight, borne by 1,000 drones. Upon it sat a woman of impossible geometry, more concept than person, the luminous empress. She spoke, and every organism briefly remembered their oldest, happiest memory. Warm air, safe arms, the smell of pancakes. "I offer this, Trevor of 3B, Trellis Lane," she said. "We move your Earth to a quiet galaxy with beachfront dark matter and nice sunsets. I will also teach you how to say no to kitchen appliances." Trevor looked at the jar. The jar made an appreciative hoof in gravity waves. From the corner of the yard, the Sentinel Prime Delta Notigan avatar flickered into a floating cube wearing corrective lenses. Note: moving Earth voids several warranties. Also, our anti-sniping protocol must be enabled. Vicky adjusted her blazer. "Yes. Due to last-second bidding behavior in multiple realities, each new bid extends the auction by 8 minutes." General SSKRR snarled. 8 minutes in which frame? Vicky smiled. "Whichever one is legally convenient." The timer appeared in the sky. 8 o'clock. Orion bid. 7:59 jumped to 8 o'clock. Gloomsworn bid. 7:51 jumped to 8 o'clock. A time police cruiser popped into being and cited the timer for reckless dilation. Meanwhile, Trevor's neighbor Mrs. Patel marched up with a casserole. "I've called the HOA," she announced. "No hovercraft over 12 cubic meters on cul-de-sacs. Also, do you want lasagna? It's apocalypse adjacent." Trevor accepted the pan gratefully. "You're a saint. Tell that to the HOA," she sniffed, glaring at a Titan-class siege engine crunching her begonias. The bids escalated into the absurd. 10 quadrillion and a promise we will never colonize your planet, proclaimed a cloud of nano-hopes. 11 and we make you trend forever, said the meme guild, wearing visors. Guaranteed 9-figure views, no dancing. 13 quadrillion, whispered the Gloomsworn, and we end spam calls. Every human went silent. A drone engineer sobbed. You monsters, you beautiful monsters. The jar thrummed, warm against Trevor's palms. He felt, ridiculously, a sort of opinion. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't a trophy. It was a very small, very hungry traveler who had been trapped inside a toaster coil, and then inside a jar, and had finally met someone who fed it crackers and said, "Good boy." Trevor cleared his throat. So, Buddy has preferences. Every admiral flinched. First, Trevor continued, no vivisection. Second, it gets snacks. Third, field trips. Fourth, you don't call it the device. It's Buddy. The luminous empress bowed her impossible head. Agreed. General SSKRR clicked reluctantly. We will acquire crackers. Salted, Trevor said. He's fancy. The timer kept lurching back to 8 o'clock as empires tripped over one another. Somewhere, the sun hesitated, confused by the sheer quantity of pulled time. That's when customer support arrived. A portal opened. A three-headed dragon in a visor and cardigan emerged, pushing a squeaky cart. Its name tag, escrow. "Hi, sweeties," it said in a soothing call center tone. "I'll be holding the item until payment clears." It snapped up the jar with 2 heads while the third stamped a form. The crowd shrieked. 50 weapons locked. An orbital dreadnought flared. Escrow slapped a sticker on the jar. In escrow, do not breathe near. Calm, escrow cooed. This protects the seller and the buyer and avoids awkward oops Swean wrote your grandma incidents. The Terran Authority pinged. Payment processing. Orion Treasury pinged. Converting moons to liquid. Gloomsworn pinged. Accruing shadow credit. And yet, overlaid on all of it, Trevor's phone chimed with a tiny, almost sheepish notification. New bid, $49.99 plus shipping bidder. Return to sender. Vicky's eyebrows did a complicated math problem. Who? The kid in the bike helmet zoomed in on the phone. The chat exploded. I asked at the original bid? Who is return to sender, bro? Did the JAR just bid on itself? The jar inside escrow's claws pulsed once. The sticker wrinkled into a smiley face. Sentinel adjusted its lenses. Cross-referencing. Account created 13.8 billion years ago. Suspended 1 hour after the Big Bang. Username aliases singularity. Event Horizon dad jokes returned as sender. Vicky whispered, scandalized. Oh my God, the item is attempting to purchase the item. Escrow perked up. Self-purchase violates Section 14 unless the item is legally emancipated merchandise. General SSKRR pointed at Talon. It is a jar. Jars cannot emancipate. The jar purred, and every loose screw on the street aligned into the word. HI. The luminous empress smiled. It is not the jar that bids. It is the heart within. The sky timer sputtered, numbers melting like ice cream in a singularity. 312 became infinity, then 1, then 8 o'clock again out of sheer stubborn bureaucracy. A new presence arrived without arriving. No ship, no throne, just a pressure behind the eyes, like a headache deciding to run for office. Time itself put on a tiny visor. Hello, said a voice that made everyone briefly remember long division. We are the Department of Temporal Fraud. Auctions that threaten heat death are subject to audit. A cosmic clipboard appeared. Pages flipped. Stamps stamped. The dragon sighed happily. Ruling? Trevor asked, because when life hands you an audit by time, you might as well be polite. The bidder, return as sender, is ineligible to purchase themselves out of a container unless the seller consents and the item signs a care agreement. Everybody turned to Trevor. The jar thrummed in escrow's claws like a heartbeat. He felt it again. The sense of a dog waiting at the door with its leash in its mouth, tail wagging the whole universe. He looked at the fleets, the offers, the impossible gifts. Oceans, moons, fewer wasps, the abolition of Mondays. He looked at Mrs. Patel's lasagna pan balanced on a hover cart. He looked at his toaster, which had somehow migrated onto the porch and was glaring at him with both slots. Buddy, Trevor said softly, you want to go with you? The jar's gravity waves spelled field trips on the shed by peeling the paint. Okay, Trevor said. Here's my counteroffer. He turned to the assembled cosmos, clicked the remote, and the final slide appeared on the bedsheet. Adoption contract. Buddy gets snacks, salted. Buddy gets walks, supervised. Buddy does not swallow continents without permission. Buddy can come home on weekends. Everyone stops pointing guns at my pet. He took a breath. If the universe agrees and time signs off, I consent to the $49.99 bid. With shipping. Silence. The kind that isn't empty, but packed full of possible endings. Then, ding. The same chime played in 1,000 languages in 1,000 years at once. Payment received. Every ship froze. Every admiral stopped mid-scream. The timer curled into a little zero and went asleep. Escrow's 3 heads blinked. Oh, that was fast. A receipt unfolded in the sky. It was embossed with nebulae and smelled faintly of new books. Sold. Slightly used space vortex. $49.99 plus shipping buyer. Return to center notes. Will be a good boy. Escrow cleared its throats. Per policy, item transfers to buyer now. The dragon let go. The jar didn't fall. It bloomed. Glass stretched into a necklace of little galaxies. The lid unfolded like a hat being tipped. The black speck expanded to the size of a grapefruit, and then, politely, stopped. Buddy hovered in front of Trevor like a tiny night sky with ideas. General SSKRR hissed. Armies readied. The Empress held up a hand. Sentinel pulled out a camera. Vicky whispered, "This is great for the case study." Buddy pulsed. The air smelled like fresh rain. Letters rippled across the fence in bent sunlight. "Thank you." "Adventure?" Trevor smiled, ridiculous and certain. "Yeah, buddy. Adventure." The world leaned in, and the front doorbell rang. A muffled voice called through the wood. "Hi. Dimensional Courier. Got a package for a Trevor Malloy. Something about a toaster warranty redemption? Sign here." Trevor blinked at the cosmic dogcat hole and the door at the same time. "This now," he told the universe, "might get weird." Trevor Malloy had experienced exactly 3 life milestones thus far. Causing a neighborhood blackout while trying to derust the microwave with magnets. Accidentally creating a black hole in a toaster. Selling said black hole to itself on eBay for $49.99 plus shipping. Everything after that felt like bonus content. Buddy, the newly emancipated, grapefruit-sized micro-singularity, hovered beside Trevor like a loyal cosmic pet made of night and enthusiasm. Its gravity field tugged lovingly at Trevor's shoelaces, his hair, and occasionally his soul. Trevor didn't mind. He'd had worse roommates. But peace lasted exactly 7 minutes. Because at minute 8, Trevor's phone buzzed with an unmistakable alert. "Your buyer has requested a refund. Reason: item is following me home." Trevor stared. "Buddy, did you follow yourself home?" Buddy pulsed guiltily. Letters bent themselves across the garage door in shimmering gravity script. "Sorry, Miss Trevor. Also, toaster smells bad." Trevor rubbed his face. "You asked for the refund?" Trevor stared. "Buddy, did you follow yourself home?" Buddy pulsed guiltily. Letters bent themselves across the garage door in shimmering gravity script. "Sorry, Miss Trevor. Also, toaster smells bad." Trevor rubbed his face. "You asked for the refund?" A sheepish wobble. Before he could respond, 12 interstellar fleets roared back overhead, engines screaming like angry kettles. The sky lit up with flashing sirens, dramatic spotlights, and at least 4 lawyer-shaped drones. The Intergalactic Peacekeeping Authority announced, "Trespass alert. The Singularity has breached ownership protocols. Initiating repossession." The Orion Treasury added, "The refund must be honored. This is a shared economic stability issue." The gloom-sworn High Command declared, "IT returns? This is sacred chaos. We must witness who dies." And the HOA posted a message on Trevor's mailbox. Notice: no loose universe warping anomalies on front lawns without shrubbery. Trevor stood on the porch in his flip-flops and sighed. Can we all just calm down for 12 seconds? They could not. The yard erupted in diplomatic yelling, laser pointer gesturing, and cosmic legal jargon. Buddy hovered protectively at Trevor's shoulder, warping the sunlight into a halo like a tiny celestial guard dog. Trevor raised both hands. "Look, there's no crisis, just a simple misunderstanding. Buddy is a rescue singularity. It has separation anxiety. Buddy thumped him gently with a gravity nuzzle. The luminous empress materialized in a soft bloom of golden fractals. Trevor of Earth, cosmic imprints are rare. The singularity has bonded with you. She nodded, genuinely touched. You are its person. General SSKRR hissed. That is not fair. We offered quadrillions. Trevor shrugged apologetically. Love is a higher currency. Half the alien delegations burst into tears. But the Terran peacekeepers were not emotional creatures. Their lead representative, a three-eyed bureaucratic hologram named Marlin, floated forward. Human Trevor, as the platform facilitator, we must process this refund. Where's the item? Trevor looked at Buddy. Buddy dimmed. Trevor looked at Marlin. Not giving Buddy back. A gasp shuddered through the cosmos. The hologram blinked. Sir, that violates eBay's return and refund policy. Trevor squared his shoulders. Bold of you to assume I read that. The crowd murmured, horrified. Vicky from eBay Infinite rematerialized in a blazer, so sharp it could file taxes. Trevor, darling, sugar pumpkin, my favorite seller, sweetheart, listen to me. If you refuse a refund, we'll lose cosmic seller parity and get audited by the Department of Onological Compliance. Sounds like a dumb problem, Trevor said. Vicky's eye twitched. Buddy formed the gravitational outline of a heart. And then everything went sideways. A swirling tear opened above Trevor's begonias. Out stepped three towering figures wearing cosmic judge robes, each holding a glowing gavel shaped suspiciously like a barcode scanner. Behold, the trio boomed. We are the return arbitrators. Vicky fainted. General SSKRR hid behind a lawn flamingo. Mrs. Patel poked her head out of her door. If they trample my hydrangeas, I'm suing. The middle arbitrator pointed its scanner at Trevor. You have been summoned for a return dispute. Defend your case. Trevor cleared his throat. Right. But he came back because he wanted to. You can't return something that returns itself. The arbitrator scribbled on an infinite scroll. Argument noted. Counterpoint. A ripple formed and a new figure emerged. A tiny floating icon that represented Buddy's official eBay buyer account. Its username glowed. Return to sender. Verified cosmic entity. The icon beeped plaintively. A robotic voice translated. Item misbehaving. Keeps following seller. Request resolution. Buddy pulsed indignantly. Trevor said, he's just clingy. The arbitrators conferred. Clinginess, said the first, does not invalidate return policy. Unless, said the second, the item has unusual feelings. Or, said the third, has achieved pet status. They all turned toward Buddy. Buddy, unhelpfully, curled into a gravitational loaf like a cosmic cat. The arbitrators gasped. Pet status confirmed. Trevor pumped a fist. Yes. General SSKRR hissed. No. Marlin flickered. Pets are exempt from return protocols. Clause 47C. If the item shows attachment behavior, the refund is void. The arbitrators raised their gavels dramatically. We rule. The refund is rejected. A shockwave of cosmic bureaucracy pulsed outward. Crowds cheered. Gloomsworn wept dark confetti. Mrs. Patel clapped politely. Trevor smiled at Buddy. You get to stay. Buddy expanded in sheer joy, briefly flexing space-time like a happy trampoline. But the arbitrators weren't finished. Additionally, they intoned, the buyer, return to sender, must accept an alternate compensation package. The icon pulsed nervously. The arbitrators scrolled through cosmic policy for several minutes while Trevor ate lasagna. Finally, the buyer shall be awarded. The toaster. Trevor froze mid-bite. Wait, what? Buddy perked up. The toaster, sitting on the porch, hissed like something possessed. General SSKRR whispered, the original portal device. Trevor shouted, objection. It's evil, Mrs. Patel added. It threw bread at my window. The arbitrators slammed their gavels. The toaster is the source of the original incident. Therefore, IT belongs to return to sender. The portal crackled open. The toaster levitated, screaming in electrical static, trying to resist. Buddy pulsed sympathetically. Trevor whispered, "You were a terrible toaster. But safe travels, buddy." The toaster was pulled through the portal like a screaming villain being dragged off stage. The portal sealed. Silence. Trevor exhaled. Well, that's that. The arbitrators bowed and disappeared with the subtlety of 3 collapsing pianos. The fleets powered down their weapons. The HOA removed the violation notice once someone planted a rosemary bush near the crater. Vicky adjusted her blazer. "Trevor, you've just made intergalactic eBay history." The luminous Empress stepped forward. "You have done something rare, Trevor Malloy. You chose compassion over profit, loyalty over power, a toaster over a galaxy." Trevor chuckled. "Honestly, I just wanted a quiet life." Buddy spelled sorry, LOL, across the shed in gravity wiggles. Trevor grinned and gave the singularity a little pat. "Yeah, I know." The Empress extended a hand. "So what will you do now, Trevor of Earth?" Trevor thought, looked up at the stars, looked at Buddy, floating, eager, glowing with infinite potential and zero common sense. "Well," he said, "Buddy wants field trips." Buddy spun like a delighted, celestial puppy. "So," Trevor continued, "I guess we explore. Safely. No galaxy eating. And snacks." The crowd murmured approvingly. Mrs. Patel nodded. "Take the lasagna. You'll get hungry." The jar, now more of a shimmering gravitational harness, settled gently around Buddy like a leash made of dark matter. Trevor stepped forward. Buddy hovered beside him like a tiny universe waiting for walkies. He looked back only once. At Earth. At the toaster-shaped absence on the porch. At the interstellar delegations packing up Chuo stands and emotion guns. "Right, Buddy," Trevor said. "First stop the moon." Buddy wrote, "Y moon across the sky in stretched starlight." The world cheered. Trevor Malloy and his black hole companion stepped into the unknown. A man and his cosmic pet. A journey powered by bravery, snacks, and the fact that Trevor still had absolutely no idea what he was doing. But that was fine. He never made good decisions anyway. And now, he didn't have to. He had Buddy.